Yo, what's going on, guys? This is your boy Poison Okami here. Me, myself, and I back at it again with another video. And today's video is going to be a very chill one, as you can tell by the title. Today is a podcast. This is episode 2 of the podcast series that I'm doing with the Wolves of Despair, which are featuring RJxHunterz and E_B, also known as MrAirforce. So today's episode will be featured on my channel, and what we're going to be doing is that we're going to be rotating each episode on each of our channels. So as some of you may know, that the first episode is on E's channel, so the link will be in the description to that, and also I'll put a little video card on the right side of the video in case you guys want to see that, in case you've missed it. And then next week's, or the third episode, whenever we can get together and record it, will be on RJ's channel. So it's a good way for the three of us to collaborate, for you all of the audiences to stay, in touch with the Wolves of Despair and to get in touch. But this is going to be a very chill, very relaxed discussion type podcast series between the Wolves of Despair, your favorite British Naruto players. But anyways, let me allow my fellow wolves to introduce themselves. I've been waffling on enough. So since E is actually to my left on the Discord call, E, I'll let you introduce yourself first.
Hey, what's going on, guys? E_B163 here, also known as MrAirforce, also known as UK's Grab Master, also known as the Grab Addict. But you already know, man. You already know.
This guy. Oh my God.
All right, RJ, tell him who you are, man.
What's good, man? Like RJ. In other building, as you know, I ain't self-proclaimed nothing because you don't already know, you understand. So I'm gonna just leave it as that.
He said he's not gonna mention any accolades because he ain't got none. That's what he said.
All right, he's already coming in with the smoke, man. This is. Did I say at the start this is supposed to be a chill podcast?
Exactly. I was it's supposed to be chill. Okay, he's coming on some fire, and I'm just trying to relax. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, no word of a lie. I'm upstairs, laying down in my bed in the dark. I'm chilling.
Okay, well, it's good to know that RJ's setting is a different one to mine. He's led in the bed in dark, and now I'm in a very well lit room. I'm sure E is also a normal person with his lights on.
Come on.
But,
weird is the new normal.
Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, it's better to be weird than normal, is what I say. Anyways,
Right.
So another thing that I should mention to the viewers here is when each of us hosts a podcast, it's the host's turn to think of a topic to talk about, and then obviously we just branch out to different conversations. So as mentioned earlier, E did his first episode, and he was the one who led and catalyzed the conversation for us to talk on and branch out with. So I'll be doing that for today's episode as well. So for the second episode, the topic of conversation that I'd like to get started off with you guys is a very interesting one and a very controversial one. I'm sure a lot of people are going to listen to this, and the comment section is probably going to go wild with all sorts of opinions and all sorts of players and names listed. But my topic that I thought about is, what do you think makes a pro player in Naruto Storm 4? Now, I say Naruto Storm 4 because this could go for any game, but because Naruto Storm 4 is kind of like a different dynamic compared to other games, like other esports and stuff. I'm going to just stick it to Naruto Storm, obviously, but we can make comparisons to other games if you really want to, if it helps you explain your answer. But what do you think makes a top player? Now, before you answer that, the reason why I asked that is because a lot of people have different opinions on who they think a top player is and their reasons why and what even is a top player to them. So I'm interested, as I respect both of you as very good players. I respect E as a fellow top player. RJ is a very good player, not basically knocking on the door of being a top player, in my opinion. But
yeah, mine too.
What is your guys' opinion on that? Whoever wants to take the floor, go ahead.
You want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
I'll go first, real quick. Yeah, so I feel like my definition of a top player is very different from the community's definition of a top player. Like, I feel like the community defines it as someone who plays very good or gets a lot of wins, or has mastered switch tech at a high level or whatever. To me, a top player, how I rate a top player, is someone that can play very well without resources, or someone that has top tier fundamentals. So, for example, there's no player in this game that has top tier fundamentals and is not a top player. Example: Django, Yamanakas Poison, me. There's no player that has top tier fundamentals that's not a top player. So that's how I rank it.
Sorry.
So just to clarify, E, so your point is that So a way you class someone as a top player is that their fundamentals has to be of that level, right?
Yeah, top tier. Like I'm talking the highest level. Like I'm talking like people know you for your top tier fundamentals or your ability to play with no resources. Like you can calmly play with no subs. You can calmly beat up people with no chakra. That kind of thing. Not a lot of players can't actually do that. There's a very few / finite amount of players that can do that well and consistently. So that's how I rank a top player.
Okay.
Like, yeah, you can be nice with switch tech and that. Okay, cool, but that doesn't really impress me because a lot of people can do that. And switch tech isn't necessarily hard to do once you've grasped the basics of that. What it comes down to is using it at optimal ranges or using the best jutsus in the game. For example, 6-part Smotherer's Flame Wall, or let's say Shisui's jutsu. Like, that's not really hard to use, but mastering fundamentals and actually using it optimally to dominate your opponent, especially when you have low resources, now that takes skill. And it's also a transferable skill in different fighting games, whether that's arena fighters or traditional fighters. But yeah, that's basically me.
Okay. All right, cool. That's a very interesting answer. Yeah, it's very similar to mine that I'll get into in a little bit. But yeah, RJ, you want to talk about your opinion on what makes a top player?
Okay. All right, so what I think makes a top player, right? And I'm going to speak about it from a very, like, keeping my personal opinion to the side for a bit and kind of just looking at it for what it is. Yeah. For my definitions of top player, right, is, so I'm going to go through the requirements in my opinion, and I'm going to summarize everything up, right? So I feel like you should be able to beat everyone. I don't think there should be anyone who you play and you don't get a win. Do you see what I'm saying, right? Because for me, if you're a top player, that means you're at the top of the barrel. So you should be able to box the other top players. And if you can box all the other top players, then you should be able to beat all the ones below it, innit? So I feel like if there's anybody, like, it can be like, okay, let's say you can beat everybody, or let's say the best player or whoever you don't consider the best player gives you some trouble, you should still be able to at least get one win off them. If you can't get a win off people, like one win, you are not a top player. And that's why I don't consider myself a top player. There's people like that I play and I simply don't get a win. I can get a win, but if I'm playing, if I'm nice that day, do you know what I mean? But I'm saying on a casual level, even if you're playing casual, you should still be able to give the other top player some trouble, and you should definitely be able to win. So I feel like that's one thing that I feel like is required for a top player. I feel like you should be able, the other requirement is you should be able to, you should excel at something at a top player level. So when I was listening to E's point, and I agree with his point, but in my opinion, if your fundamentals are poor, but your switch tech is so good that you're able to box the other top players and win against them, then you still hit that requirement because you're still able to win. Yeah, your fundamentals are poor, but you're still able to win. Do you know what I'm saying? That's what matters at the end of the day. At the end of the day, it matters if you win or lose, not how you win, but you need to win. Do you see what I'm saying? So I feel like you need to excel at something that, that at a top player level, right? So like, that skill level, and it has to be something that impacts your gameplay enough to evolve into a playstyle. Do you see what I'm saying? And that's where I feel like the most common one is switch tech. A lot of people have there are quite a few people who are considered top players who I feel like has poor fundamentals, but they're so good at switch tech that it doesn't matter if they have poor fundamentals. Do you see what I'm saying? Because yeah, they can pick up another team and get completely battered, but as soon as they play a team they know how to use, that suits how they play, you're never beating them. Do you see what I'm saying? So that's what I feel. So that's another requirement I feel like there is to be a top player, right? So I feel like, again, to summarize everything up, to be a top player, like, you need to be able to beat everyone. You need to be able to be consistent as well. Not, I beat someone in the first 10, but out of 10 first to 10s, you only got one. Do you see what I'm saying? Consistency as well. Like, consistently good. Your base level is just so strong. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, there are some players out there that have that down to a T. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. You two being one of them. You don't can play casually against me, right? and still beat me. Do you see what I'm saying? I'll be sweating, but you can just play cash and still perform. Do you see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm saying. Like your base level, even when you're rusty, you're strong. Do you know what I mean? So it's like that's what I mean. How like as a top player, you just have that skill set. Like you're just there. Like it's not someone can't just roll up and beat you. Do you know what I mean? And that's why I feel like I'm close, because for someone to beat me, they're not. I don't feel like it's just anyone. Do you know what I mean? They would have to be known in somewhere, unless they're just hidden talent somewhere. Do you know what I'm saying? But if someone is good, they can still, you know what I mean? I still might slip up or here and there. Whereas with you guys, for example, even if someone's good, you'll still two-stock them. You'll still deal with them on a cash. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying that's my kind of definition on like or requirements of what makes a top player. Because my bar is very high for top players. There are people who are considered top players that I don't consider top players.
Yeah, so this is why
my bar is very high.
Yeah, this is why I thought about it. I was on the way to work today. I was thinking like, it's my turn to do a podcast. I need to think of something. I was like, oh, here's a very good one. Here's a spicy one, because what RJ said, like, there's some of the things that RJ said in there that other people aren't going to agree with whatsoever. And my opinion is actually, before I get started, do you reckon you could turn down your TV volume? I can hear the PlayStation menu in the back when you talk.
Sure.
Thank you. But my opinion is actually it's kind of similar to E's. It's I also agree that good fundamentals are needed when playing. Obviously, that's an obvious answer from me, because I'm someone who relies on fundamentals a lot. I'm known for picking like the PTS characters and destroying teams with them, because they're all fundamental heavy boys. I feel fundamentals is a good indicator towards being a top player. I also believe being a top player comes with experience. And my answer is actually going to be a bit of a lecture to a lot of you watching. And those of you who are listening who want to know how to get better, I suggest you start listening good. So the top players that you know of today, they put countless of hours in. There are a few, maybe just a couple of top players who did manage to, skip and jump some levels and manage to get on a high level, but I'll get into that in a little bit. The majority of us have been playing for a very long time. I've been playing since the Storm 2 days, but I didn't actually start competing to about Generations in Storm 3 days. Again, E's been playing for, I think you got Storm in Storm 2, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so E's, a very loyal player to the Storm series from back in 2010 onwards. I've known Dark Mask and iPal since Storm 3 days, and then if you think about when Storm 3 came out, that was 2013. I think summer of 2013. So, and I'm pretty sure both of them been in Generations and sooner than that as well. Again, Playco, he's been around since the early days. All the top names that you know of, and like even Jalak, I can't speak for the Arabic players, because I haven't really known any of them from the previous games. I've mainly hung out with EUs and NAs my whole Storm career. But I feel experience is needed. A lot of the names you see at the top and a lot of the big names that you know of, all of us have been around since the dawn of time. All of us have been playing before we even knew what Ninja Storm even was. So that's a very good reason as to why we're at the level we are. It's because we've been playing for a long time. And obviously, I know each Storm game is different and the mechanics change. Obviously, from Generations, they introduced this whole package of mechanics of cancels. You can cancel your tilt, and you can ninja move out your tilt. You can ninja move out your combos into grab, ninja moves out your combos into tilts. You can do Jiraiya's, 2-hit tilt into UJ. You can do tilts into all Majitsus. You can do infinite tilts. There are characters back then like Ino and PTS Conqueror and Choji and Danzo who could do tilt infinites into ultimate Jitsus. All of them. I mean, not all of them, but Danzo could, Minato could. The dynamic was so different back in the day. And then as time went on, Storm 3, Revolution, they started taking mechanics away. So in Storm 3, you could ninja move into tilt, but you could no longer ninja move into grab. I believe they took that away. And you couldn't jump out your tilts anymore, but they added air tilts. And then they took that out in Revolution, but then Revolution added Instant Awakening. And the common thing is that a lot of us experienced players, we learned to adapt, and this is where it relates back to fundamentals. Our fundamentals were so good from when we were playing in other games. Our fundamentals, I mean, I can definitely say this for myself. I'm sure maybe E and maybe other top players who are listening to this could agree. my fundamentals definitely carried me through the Storm games, because my base defense and attack was really good on, just knowing how to chakra dash, how to counter dash, how to layer attacks, and when not to attack, and sub control. That was been good since Storm 3 days all the way up to now. I just used that, and then I used whatever flashy gimmicks of the game to help me do even better. So Storm 3 Instant Awakening, I was using that, and my Ino was an absolute goddess. Again, Revolution, Instant Awakening on any characters you could use. So my Kidding Sasuke, my Shino, and my Ino were all god tier in that game too. And then we have Switch Tech in Storm 4, where you just have to make use of layering your jutsus with your ninja dashes and whatnot. So yeah, going back to the base of the question, for me it's fundamentals, it's experience as well. And then I did mention that there are a couple of players that don't have the experience. So I think there are some players, I'm not going to say names just in case I am wrong, but I do know a couple who didn't actually play the previous games. They came in Storm 4, and they got to the top pretty quickly just by exposing themselves to the good players. Like they play people like, me, E, and I don't know, Giza. They play like the top Arabic players. They'd play Playco. They'd play Dark Mask or IPAL. These people would subject themselves to lots of L's from a lot of us, but they'd learn and adapt. And that was another thing I used as another keyword I used, is adapting. We adapt to each atmosphere, because each of the Storm games have an atmosphere. Obviously, we're focusing on Storm 4 because that's where we currently are. Storm 4's atmosphere is the meta is heavily subjected around switching, leader switching, and jutsu buffering, and just buffers in general, and just lots of switch tech. And they learned, they accepted, and they adapted to the situation. Those who adapt and overcome are the ones who succeed. Those who complain and refuse to fight and give up are those who fail, in my opinion. Those who complain about certain playstyles, those who complain about certain characters, certain mechanics, those are the ones that will falter, because they will falter in those competitive scenarios when they are met with them. And I guess I also agree with what RJ was saying earlier about the consistency, being consistent and being able to beat everyone. I agree with as well. All the top players that I think are top players can get a win on everybody. Like, if you can at least get a couple of wins or so on like Playco or Mask or whatever, then yeah, you're definitely hanging up in the big leagues. If you're doing competitive sets and you struggle, then yeah, because I've done 2v2s and I've managed to eliminate top players in 2v2s. I've even carried a 2v2 against some people once. Actually, I did a 1v2 because my partner had to dip. I've competed in tournaments and got wins in tournaments. Like, yeah, I got a lot of competitive experience to sort of back up my statements. So yeah, that is my over answer: is good fundamentals, experience, and consistency. That is my trifecta on what it means to be a top player in Naruto Storm 4.
Facts. Just to add on what you said about fundamentals, since we've been playing from Storm 2, we've had many years to consistently improve our fundamentals. Like, you see how much player matches Yama has played, you've seen how much player matches and rank matches I've played. Each game we're constantly improving and refining our fundamentals. So if you realize that we've been doing that since Storm 2, and the base of these Storm games remain the same, so we can constantly carry our strong fundamentals through Storm 2, Generations, 3, Revolution, and now Storm 4. So those of you that are new to the game and wonder how we play so good or how we're able to two-stock people with seated characters, fundamentals, man. And a lot of people don't know how to counter fundamentals. Like, for example, something as simple as chakra dash cancelling. Even among the pros, there's very few players that actually abuse it. That's something that I love to be abused a lot, because a lot of people don't know how to counter it. And
that's so true. Like, the amount of long range chakra dashes I've countered, and I think to myself, like, why didn't you cancel? Was that a misinput?
Facts. Like, it's just that unused mechanic that is so simple, and it's like heavily fundamental based. It costs little chakra, but it's so useful for dominating in neutral.
Definitely.
But a lot of people, like I was saying, don't know how to counter it. So it's just a skill that's very useful and can be used among any level, whether it's beginners or the pros. So that's how we're able to, like, you see me, for example, with Mifune, Whitemouse, Toby, and Conan, very heavily underrated characters, but because I have the fundamental knowledge and the experience, because we've been playing for a long time, so a lot of the scenarios that we see in our matches, we've seen it 1,000 times before, man. People just dropping the combo because they think you're gonna sub. I abuse that a lot.
I'm guilty of that. I'm so guilty. I mean, I think I yell at you all the time about it when you and I play E. Like, I'm comboing and then I'll cancel at a certain moment thinking you're gonna sub and you just don't sub. And I drop the combo because I have no chakra or anything to draw. He's like chakra dash back into the combo. I'm like, fuck, like, why didn't you sub when I expect you to? Why didn't you play like the damn community?
Literally, and like you tilting out of combo pressure, like a lot of people don't know how to counter it. When you can literally, if you think someone's gonna tilt, you can literally chakra dash and it will counter it.
You got to prepare for the tilt, yeah, like chakra dashing for it, yeah, because we've been doing that since Revolution. I remember when we were both playing Kitty and Sasuke in Revolution, and whenever one of us would try to tilt through the other's combo, instant chakra dash or whatever.
Literally,
so yeah.
And that's another thing that people just don't use. So fundamentals can really just carry you. And then if you combine your fundamental strength with switch tech, it's disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's pretty much me. RJ? You still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
He's listening.
I didn't want to interrupt.
Yeah. He's listening and chilling, yeah.
Man like.
I still feel like, that's the only thing where our opinions differ. Because I feel like strong players carry fundamentals, not fundamentals make strong players. Just because it's been, for me at least, it's been proven. There are so many people who are strong, even stronger than me, and I feel like my fundamentals are pretty good in my opinion.
Yeah, I could think of a couple of people in that scenario. Yeah,
do you see what I'm saying? But they're still very, very strong.
Oh yeah, they're definitely known as top players. Yeah, no, there is.
Yeah, so
I do have a couple of people in mind who are in that boat where like fundamentally they aren't good, but the buffers they use definitely carry them.
Exactly. So for me, it's like, for me, like knowing that fact and obviously keeping my own personal opinion, because my personal opinion, I'm 100% with you guys. Do you see what I'm saying? 100% with you guys. But based off of like what I've seen and the facts, there are so many people who, you know, are at that level where they're fundamentally not as good as, say, me, who's weaker than them. You see what I'm saying? And they are, in my opinion, top players. So it's like they've proven that wrong. So it's like, how can I then say it? Do you know what I mean? That's just how I feel. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, true. But I feel like,
so it's like,
just to add on what you said, I'm biased because I will rate you more if you have strong fundamentals than if you have strong switch tech.
I'm so much the same.
But like you said, you're biased, but that doesn't mean that it's a fact.
Yeah, I said that at the start of my answer. I was like, this is a bit of a biased answer coming from me of all people, exactly. The guy who screams about fundamentals in every single one of his videos and live streams.
Yeah, 100%. But it's like, I feel like switch tech is more free than fundamentals, because with fundamentals you actually have to put the work in to be good at it. There's no cheap way to get good fundamentals. With switch tech, you can literally pick a character that has a good jutsu and get a good mileage out of using switch tech. For example, S3 Madara's switch combos and his jutsu buffers, like that flame wall is no joke. Or Hashirama's shuriken jutsu.
Well. Yeah, that exactly. And because Danzo, he shuts down double dashing. Like if you do switch tech double, chakra dash, the jutsu takes both of you out because it has multiple hits. So
exactly.
And then Inferno Fireball from Sasuke as well. That just shuts down, double jutsu. So if you do switch tech jutsu into another jutsu, that just shuts that down. So if you're, buffering that and you're trying to approach, have fun.
Honestly.
Yeah, man. It's there are characters that I don't want to say this. I don't really know how to say it, but you can kind of get lazy with. Like you can just pick. Just pick like he said, Edo Hashirama of the Shuriken, Danzo, who's got multiple hits and priority with his Jitsu, and then like Madara's...
Yeah, but this is where I'm like, sorry, go on.
And then it's right. And then Danzo's Jitsu, they're all like buffering gods, they dominate when you approach them and they're buffering. Such like an easy way out of like close combat situations and shit.
Honestly, and Shifu's jutsu as well. Like I'm guilty of this, of obviously using Shisui Jutsu and neutral to pressure my opponent, but I like the synergy that I have with it with the E team. But if I don't want to play neutral, I can literally just do a switch Jutsu with Shisui and I can lock you down. If your dodging isn't good, I'm locking you down and I get free conversion or free guard pressure. Either or.
Yeah, for sure.
But obviously, if I'm to use someone like PTS Sasuke, that's not happening in neutral. But his jutsu isn't that level.
Honestly,
not at that level.
It's such a basic fireball. Yeah.
Literally.
But this is where I think that Storm 3 Madara, I feel like he's a hard character though.
A hard character to use?
Yeah, I do feel that way.
I think fundamentally he isn't as great. The thing is I don't like about the thing is I don't like about Storm 3 Madara is after his IC2, it's the same as Danzo.
Yeah,
like they can if you do his IC2 and beyond on block, they can escape just like Danzo's IC2. If you do it on block.
I actually agree with you, but with S3 Madara, you don't play him to play fundamentally strong. You play him for the switch tech. There's a lot of options.
But that's what I say though, right? And this is where I bring the point that I was putting before, right? You have strong fundamentals, yeah, but I feel like there are characters like Storm 3 Madara where your fundamentals change. For example, right, Madara to me is a neutral character. He's not taijutsu based.
Oh yeah, 100%. I agree with you.
You play him off of his second hit, which means that you play him at a mid range. When you dash stop, okay, let's say I'm playing Killer Beat, yeah? I'm gonna dash stop as close to you as possible, so I can get that first hit and I get my guard pressure.
Yeah.
I mean, with S3 Madara, I'm gonna stop at a mid range, and then that's what I'm gonna buffer. But isn't that still fundamentals? Do you see what I'm saying? Even though I'm mixing the tech with it, I still have to adjust my fundamental to then set off the tech. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I have to adapt to the mid range, playing off of the mid range because after a second hit, it's garbage. And then I have to incorporate dash stops. For example, let's say I hit you with the first hit, second hit pushes back. Now to pressure you, and this is where the difficulty comes in my opinion, I have to dash stop into mix. Nothing's guaranteed. So 2 hits, dash stop, which is a fundamental trait. Now I have to mix. Am I going to do 2 hits again? Am I going to buffer again? Am I going to tilt? Do you know what I mean? Am I going to guard break? Am I going to, do you know what I mean? Like, this is where the mix comes in. And this is why I think that he is hard. Because you have to, one, have the capability of dash stopping all the time. And then it's like, okay, am I even going to dash stop you? What if I just dash and bounce off your guard and then jutsu switch? You see what I'm saying? So it's like, with Tim as a character, right, not using switch tech, you're not getting the most out of him. So what is fundamental with him? Do you see what I'm saying? What is his fundamental?
That actually leads me on to an experience I had recently, actually. I can't remember, where was this? I think it was like a live stream of mine, or I think I was PMing with someone and they just like sent me a message about it. But someone said to me, and if you're watching this, you can tell me in the comments because I literally forgot who you were. They said, oh, you change your playstyle with each character. I was like, well, yeah.
Fakers and tourists.
I was like, well, yeah, I kind of have to. Like, an example I gave to the person was like, you're not going to see me play, you're not going to see me play Shino the same way I play Jiraiya. Like, I play Jiraiya with a lot of first hit, jump cancels, air hit, stops and, juggles and setups and forced landing frames. Jiraiya is great for that. Shino is terrible at that. And this goes in hand with what RJ was saying with Storm 3 Madara, because he was saying like, Storm 3 Madara, you play him fundamentally different to you play other characters, and it's 100% like you can't play Storm 3 Madara how you play, let's say, how
Kakashi, S3 Kakashi.
Yeah, Storm 3 Kakashi, because I mean, for one, like I said earlier, Storm 3 Madara's combos on block is terrible. After his IC2, they can escape. And it's just as RJ said, Madara is like a bit of a mid-range buffery jutsu switch tech type of character. That's basically his neutral gameplay. His neutral is different to like Kakashi's neutral or Mifune's neutral or Ino's neutral.
Mifune's neutral with oh my days.
No,
You don't know what you're
Mifune
doing with him.
Yeah. Honestly, Mifune is he's in a bit of a league on his own.
Facts.
But like he's already playing Demon Slayer, by the way, guys. This man plays Mifune. He's been playing Demon Slayer early. But like one thing that you definitely have to take into consideration is when talking about specific characters is they operate differently. Like I play Jiraiya and the PTS characters in the same way, but I wouldn't play Jiraiya and the PTS characters how I play, let's say, Sasuke the Last or Ino or Tail Beast Bomb Naruto or like Shino or I don't know, Jubito. Like I play those characters differently. You know, there's characters who you can throw the tilt out a lot, and as someone who I am a self-proclaimed tilt god, like I love throwing out tilts because CC2 always just lets me make them work. So I throw out tilts with Ino, PTS Shikamaru. I throw out tilts with Danzo, of course. I throw out tilts with like Itachi, Pain, because they got good tilts. They got tilts that work. You know, Kiba, they got tilts that work. And obviously, if it misses and I'm safe, I'll just switch because, you know, we got leader switching. Thank God for that, right? But there are characters who are really bad with their tilts, you know, like you can only use them in certain scenarios. This is where Stormfree Madara comes in again. Like Stormfree Madara can mainly use it when he's getting comboed. Again, Mifune, he can kind of use it in the neutral, but they got to be very close. You know, you only see E primarily use Mifune's tilt if he's being comboed. You never really see him throw out on the neutral. Where me, because I'm a little bit different and I'm a crackhead, I would just rush you with Mifune, like cancel in front of your block, and I'll just tilt just because I can, because I love tilting. But yeah, like you gotta like respect and appreciate the character and its moveset and play accordingly. That is a heavy factor. Like, and it doesn't go for me. Like, obviously, you'll see that E plays, even though E has a very good fundamental defensive playstyle, he does play differently with each character. Like, you know, I see E tilt the most with Mifune when he's getting guard pressured, but I'll see him tilt slightly less because he's thinking more when he's using, I don't know, other characters like Conan or he's using Shisui. I mean, obviously, no one should tilt out combos of Shisui. If you do, then you're asking to die. But you know, it's just that as an example. And yeah, even with RJ loves using long range characters. So.
Bond his Utakata, by the way. Bond his Utakata.
Yeah, I don't know how you have trouble with that. Like,
I just don't like playing it. I don't like the slow bubbles.
I don't even think my Utakata is all that. I think I'm probably best of Shino, to be honest.
I think Shino is the best long range character as well. But yeah, as I was saying, RJ is a good example of changing styles because RJ can use, you know, I guess the quote unquote normal characters that don't have gimmicks, you know, not like the long range characters. Basically, he can, you know, he mains Naruto, like the Narutos, like for God's sake, like he plays them. He had a history of playing Onoki, you know, characters that aren't always all about, you know, long range. I mean, he's even had a Lee phase at one point, and then like
I remember.
And then, you know, RJ, he spends a lot of time and he even says in his videos, if you guys haven't heard, then, you know, go and check out RJ's videos. He's done guides on them. But, you know, he plays long range characters. So he loves characters like Kinemaro, Utakata, as you heard, Shino. And I also think Shino is his best long range, but it makes sense because Shino's good. But if you ever look at RJ's gameplay, he would play the long range characters differently to how he would play, I don't know, like Pain or Naruto the Last, you know, like he would differ the style because you have to, because you know these characters got mechanics of their own, they got their own kit, you know, they got their own shit going on.
Yeah.
So
and even like and I like obviously swaying a bit. Like I feel like what fundamental brings is like diversity. Do you know what I'm saying?
100.
Now, as you guys know, and E is notorious. E notoriously knows, obviously, playing both of us, right? Me and Poison both play Shino, right? But Poison Shino is nothing like my Shino. You see what I'm saying? So it's like And it's like we're doing. If you look at it in black and white, it's like we're doing the same thing though. You know, you jutsu and wake up.
I see the differences between ours. Yours is a lot more setup heavy than mine. Mine is a lot more like assertive.
Exactly, and you know what I'm saying. And it's not necessarily better or worse. It's literally just playstyle. I like keeping a neutral and setting you up for sub traps for pressure. Whereas Poison will literally be like, I'm on you. Like I'm like, if you move, I'm there. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you know what I'm saying? Move, it's wherever, he's there. And that's what I like about fundamentals. And that's what I like about the range characters. I feel like they are so adaptable. It's just that they are hard. You know what I'm saying? Because it's kunai. Kunai doesn't have priority for a lot of things. So it's like, playing around that, it's just great. That's why I like it and I like to play it. But at the same time, like, I have grown to respect Switch Tech. It's just like, I feel like, for example, let's go to the notorious I Want to Be a Cool Kid team. Stormfree Madara, Sage Hashirama, and either Pain or Sasuke, the last Sasuke, right? I feel like that team is a style, but it's like how it feels like when you play against it, which is where it kind of taints the playstyle for, I think, all three of us. Is it's like buffer here, buffer there, buffer everywhere. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like that's that team. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you're just like, there'll be times, right? I swear to you, right? It's so funny. There'll be times where I'm fighting someone playing that team, or be on ranked or something, right? And he's, I can tell he's quick. When someone's quick, they're decent, just I'm doing a lot. There'll be times where I'm just sitting there at the back, and they're just like buffer, dash, what? I'm like thinking, what the hell?
And you're nowhere near them or anything, so you just keep fucking doing it.
Exactly. I'm just standing there. I'm just like,
yeah. You're just stood there, just walking past all the shit they're doing. Like, why? Like, your storm gauge is already at its max. Like, what are you doing?
I'm just there like. You're doing a bit too much, boss. Like,
yeah, it's like, at least do it in my face or something. Like, why are you over there?
And that's where it taints the playstyle. But when you do see it done and it's like done right, I have to respect it.
I respect it too. Yeah, totally.
You know what I'm saying? If it's done right, I have to respect, because it gives you sub traps, it gives you setups, it gives. Do you know what I mean? Like, even when we're talking about it, I'm got, like, as you don't know, like, the setup guy. Do you know what I'm saying? I got like so many ideas already, because I obviously recently picked up the last Sasuke. By the way, first Sasuke that I picked up. By the way, just saying.
Hey, congratulations! Welcome to the Sasuke Uchiha squad.
It's very, because if you lot have noticed, I don't play.
RJ never plays Sasuke's ever. Like, if you watch RJ play, he never plays any of the Sasuke's. Like, obviously, me and E are like, we are known as like Kitty and Sasuke gods of
Come on.
Like, no one plays Kitty and Sasuke like we do. Then the rest of you plebs are all fucking playing Sasuke the Last Samurai Sharingan Sasuke. But me and E, we're out here with the Kitty and Sasuke God Squad. You know how it is. But yeah, RJ is now using a Sasuke at last. But yeah, anyways, go on, RJ.
No, but that's what I mean regarding, like, characters. It's like each character there's a fundamental, but how you use those fundamentals is like with a character. For example, giving an example of Stormfree Madara having to incorporate holo stepping and dash stopping a lot to compensate for his lack of guard pressure. Like even with Danzo having to incorporate, that, like Orochimaru, you could just up combo, dash off, you're chilling. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I break your guard, down combo infinite if I straight back. Like, do you know what I mean? It's all good. But then when you do have the characters like Danzo, it used to be Sai, not anymore, but like Stormfree Madara, and you don't have that guaranteed guard pressure, you have to make up for it with fundamental tech.
Yeah, they buffed Sai though, because Sai, they can't escape Sai's combo anymore, can they?
Yeah, they can't. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So it's like, and that's, I don't know, that's where I like seeing where it is. Like, even with Sai, if we're talking about Sai now, doing that 2-hit into, like, their stun that they can't jump out of, that is so underrated. Do you know what that means? If I catch your no subs, 1 hit, jump, attack, switch, boom, chilling. Do you know what I'm saying? I can do, like, there's a long stun.
Oh, you're talking about his air combo.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, you like, making the most of that. I feel like there are so many people that don't do that. They don't see something and make the most of the situation. I see people get me on no subs or anything, and they don't go for max damage. I'm thinking, what?
I have a theory as I actually have a theory as to why you play it like that, actually, because you're different. Because I mean, the way you play is almost on the path of how a styler would play, actually, because you look for setups and you look for paths in a combo to lead on to other good opportunities. Like, in Revolution, you used to be able to do resets with Sai's air combo back when his recovery of his air combo was so much better back then, because I used to use it too. Like Sai would be able to do his air combo, drop down, and he can do it again. But obviously in Storm 4, you've looked at ways of, getting around that with, I don't know, hitting grounded jutsu or switching to another character prematurely and then continuing a juggle combo of that. As you said, people don't do that. And I think the reason why you do that is because you got a lot of fighting game experience in other games like Tekken. Because, Tekken, like, a lot of the combos are juggling, isn't it? Like, juggle combos and like Tekken is you got to be creative with your combos there and find your good combos and your ways of doing max damage. I've seen videos of people picking that stage, the Forgotten Realm, with all the floor breaks. Like I see videos of people picking that stage, and then they'll pick, like, I don't know, Geese or Armor King or Kazuya, and they'll find these mental ways of doing a touch of death combo where they go from 100 all the way down to 0% using all the floor breaks, using all these different pathways and juggles and grabs and floor breaks to go from 100 to 0 on a bot. And I think the main man Sui recently uploaded a video of like a very similar style that he did that against someone online, actually. And I feel like, obviously this is drifting off a little bit, but Tekken kind of gives players, it makes players, especially when you're playing at a competitive level, and as you know, all three of us are very competitive people, and RJ, he's been very competitive in Tekken as well as he is in Naruto. So RJ, him coming from Tekken, I feel like Tekken's kind of gave him the mindset to be like that with his combos, because obviously he's been playing Tekken for such a long time, because you played Tekken before Storm, correct?
Yeah, I was a Tekken player first.
Yeah, so because of that, RJ, he's had this mindset and this way of thinking about getting combos and max damage combos and finding his own pathways in combos. So when he comes to Naruto Storm, he's like, yeah, Infinite's cool, but I'd rather lift you up into the air, switch to a new character, a quick attack pill, and then land a jutsu on you, do a reset, and then, like, that's why RJ likes set up so much. And that's my theory about RJ, is because he got introduced into fighting games, and Tekken is a very hard game, like so fucking difficult. Like, because I've spent a lot of hours.
The hardest.
Like I think I've now altogether across PlayStation and PC, I've got like 1,500 hours in Tekken 7. So I can also say, like, I've dabbled a lot in Tekken, and I've been to local tournaments too in my area. Tekken's a difficult game. It's a whole different ball game, and like I said earlier, like I can't stress enough, the game makes you think of combos for your character and makes you think of pathways to get max damage, because when you do get that juggle combo, you're like, right, this is opportunity to not fuck up. I need to get as much percentage as possible here. Like we want to go further and beyond. We don't want a 40% combo. We want a fucking 60-70% combo, because this is my chance. Because in Tekken, they don't have subs or they don't have escape mechanics. Once you're juggled, that's it. You got to accept it. Maybe if they drop you, you can try and tech roll out of it, but that's all you got. And if the player is really good at execution, then and that's why RJ plays the way. That's why RJ plays the way he does in Storm. It's because he's so used to that game and that style. That's why he plays.
Literally, right? Other fighting games make you good at this game. I'm not very good at fighters, but once I understood staggering, I was like, oh my days, you can stagger in Naruto, right? Let me explain, and I'm gonna use my boy Hidan. You'll know how much I do like Hidan. I'm gonna use the boy, right?
RJ is in a bit of a Hidan phase recently, guys, if you want some context.
Delaying your hits goes so far. Do you know how many people have tried to tilt in between my combo, but because I delayed the hits, it messes up their whole timing?
Bro,
do you know what I'm saying?
Bro, you're telling me delay tech is amazing.
People do it with pain as well. People delay pain sets and it works.
Bro, you could do it with anyone, even with Hashirama with his long animation self. Like, it just works. And it's that's what I'm saying though, because delaying your hits, like, it gives you mental strain because you're in the combo for longer. No one wants to be in the combo for longer. So it gives you mental strain. It makes you safer because the window for you to jump out of your combo is bigger. It also, like, makes them, you know, it throws off their timing as well. And all you have to do is just mix up the timing of your combo. Something that simple, I don't see top players do. Do you know what I mean?
I see some people do it. I see some, but yeah, like I agree. I think more people need to do it. The thing is, I'm guilty of it too. I don't delay my combos. I should, but I don't. But I should.
Like, it just works so well. Like with anyone, it doesn't matter who it is. It works so well. Because then it's like they're so used to you delaying your combos. What if you just jump out, dash, switch, jump throw kunai, and now your guard's red or broken? Literally. Do you know what I mean? Because they're so used to it.
I mainly use it for when I have you in a combo, and let's say I'm on 1 sub or 2 subs or no subs, so I'll delay it to make myself saver. So that's when I use it the most. Yeah. So by the time you subbed, I've already jumped out my combo because I've been delaying it so slowly.
That's what I mean. Just conditioning your opponent. No, I feel like that is what a lot of people miss. Condition your opponent and then act on it.
I don't think a lot of people know how to do that, sadly. Like, they don't think about actually predicting / conditioning their opponent.
Yeah,
which is unfortunate.
That's what I mean. I feel like there's just, and this is why, and if you know me as a content creator, you'll know I'm all about improving your mental game, not necessarily the character. I'm always about, if you come to me and RJ, you teach me, best believe I'm improving your brain, because that's what makes a strong player.
Oh my god, bro, that is so important. I can never stress. I mean, obviously I've had long conversations with you about it. I think I've even had like talks with Playco about this as well. Like, the mental game is so important, not just in Storm, but in any game you play. In any game you play, like, your mentality and having empathy for what your opponent's thinking. Bro, it is all. Bro, that is just a whole. Bro, that is a whole other podcast in itself, bro. Like, if we get into that now, we're gonna be here for 5 hours, I swear.
I'm saying this: if you don't take away nothing from, for the people who have made it this far, if you take away nothing from what we've said, improve your mental game. Yeah, it's not all about execution. Yeah, it's about fundamentals, obviously, because that's what you want, and that will give you transferable skills to the other characters. But improve the strong players are strong because of their head. They're smart. They're conditioning your opponent. They're constantly watching you. They're so comfortable in themselves. Their eyes are always on you. You're the star of the show for them. Do you know what I'm saying?
So I always say in my coaching videos too. Yeah, I always say, like, keep your eyes on the HUD and your opponent. Stop looking at your own character. Exactly. You know what your character looks like, but look at what's coming at you.
You know what it's doing. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Literally, like, just watch that. Improve your, like, learn how to read someone. You know, actually deep that. Learn how to read someone, because it's not easy, especially when you're fighting. So you might go, listen, if I had a pound for the amount of times I've tried to read, like, poison or eat, yeah, and I'd be like, okay, cool, like, I'll play him, I'll be like, all right, cool, he's gonna do this. Cool, so I'll do this. He'll do it. Okay, cool. He didn't do it that time. All right, but yeah. All right, cool. All right. So all right, cool. He's dashing me, so he's gonna counter me here. No. I mean, so he dashed me, he's gonna counter here. So I press circle, boom, hit the counter. I'll be like, okay, maybe, you know, like, I don't want to make it bait, so let me press circle a few more times. Boom, hit the counter. All right, cool. I've hit the counter like 4 times. All right, cool. Let me try and read the counter this time. Boom, I don't do nothing. He don't counter. I lose my turn, brother. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's E's phrase, brother.
You see what I'm saying? Like it's hard. It is hard. It's hard to read your opponent, because in Naruto, and this is where like, I feel like Naruto is on par, or maybe even harder than other games. There's so many options to do so many things with the teams you have. It's like,
I agree.
It's mad, and this is why I like range characters, because it's like, okay, I can dash you, but what if I dash you and now throw kunai after? If you do anything once you block that dash, you're getting clipped. But now I've conditioned you to not move, because you're like, oh, he's gonna just throw kunai. So this is why I do dash, ninja, move, jutsu. You're staying still, so you're like, wait, he didn't press square. You move away now. Guess what? I finished the Shino jutsu, and I catch you with bugs now, and you have a jutsu slowly coming towards you. So it's like, so now it's like, I've conditioned you to not move to put you in a mix. Do you see what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
this is what I mean. Like reading your opponent just buffs you like
Facts.
so much. Like
Facts.
nothing else. It just buffs you, and that's what I'm saying. If you take nothing away, learn how to read your opponent. It is
No,
hard.
honestly. Like reading, like once you read your opponent, the way you can dismantle them and destroy them, like
so
an
easy,
example
man.
for first to 5 is so easy. Like especially when you're facing someone that's on your level and you literally have the read, as in you download their playstyle and you two-stock them, the way that breaks their mental, oh my days.
Yeah,
You're not
you start
really
displaying
playing that
it to
player.
them and they see it and they're like, oh, he knows what I'm
Yep.
doing. And yeah, it's
Yep.
as he says, like it breaks them down. They get scared. They don't know what to do anymore. Their style changes.
Exactly.
They become, intimidated.
Facts, and I think I've talked about this to you before, Yama and RJ. Like when you smell your opponent's fear, you can literally play how you want because they're scared.
Yeah.
They're not going to do anything.
I get so aggressive when I can just sense it. I'm just like, oh, I'm walking all over you.
Literally,
And that's
how I read him.
All of these factors cater to the question. This is what top players do. You hear what I'm saying? So it caters to the question that was asked. All of this that we spoke about is what top players do, or even a high-level players. For example, me, I'm a high-level player, but as Poison said, I'm knocking at the door. Do you know what I mean? They're still going through my head. It's just executing it, and that's why you gotta have the best of both worlds. As Poison says, you're fighting 2 battles: the physical battle and the mental game.
3 battles: physical, mental, and misinputs. There we go.
I'm done. Ignore this man. Yeah, he's missing himself. Waste man.
Hey, yo, low-key, I agree with you on that. Yeah, okay, guys, there's 3 battles in the 1.11 patch on PlayStation. You got your physical battle, you got your mental, and you got the battle against CC2 with the misinputs. Good luck with that one, because sometimes I be getting 2-sucked by CC2. So.
For real.
But yeah, no, definitely, yeah. Like one thing I think not a lot of people consider though is the mental game, and like RJ and E was using a lot of like very in-depth and long explanation terms, but I'm a very stupid individual, so I'm going to dumb it down for a lot of you people. Like basically think for your opponent. Think about what they're thinking. Have a little bit of empathy for them. Think, right, he has 1 sub, I have 2 or 3. He's got more chakra than me, and I have just a little below half, so I can't really do a combo cancel into UJ. Think about the situation carefully. Quickly look at the HUDs, look at your health, look at your health, look at the heads-up display, your health, your chakra, compare it very quickly. Look at the spacing between you. Look at what they're doing. Look at what you're about to do. Look at everything. Think for them. Think, what is my opponent thinking right now? If I were them, how would I approach? What would they want to do? Or based on the last 2 minutes of this fight, what have they been doing, and what are they most likely going to do now? Like, think very carefully for your opponent. That is the most simple way I can put it, because that is a good key and a good introduction on how to do what RJ and E's been saying, like read your opponent. Because in order to read them, you need to have a decent idea on what you're reading. Because you can't read them if you don't know what they're going to do. If you're too busy staring at your character's asshole the whole fucking time, going, "Oh yeah, I'm going to do a fireball right here, fun, flashy," that's not reading your opponent. You're just looking at your character and you're doing whatever. Like, look at them, look at the environment, look at the HUDs, look at your surroundings, look at everything, and think, what am I going to do next?
Facts. Just to add on to what you said quickly, that's why I use that tactic that you said, Yama, when I don't sub purposely and people will drop the combo. If I have health lead, there's no reason for me to sub, because I know you will drop the combo.
There you go. So E just
the
exposed himself there with a very good explanation of why he doesn't sub in combos. So E is thinking for his opponent. He's thinking, right, my opponent needs this damage, but he's also aware that I have 4 subs or 3 subs here, so he thinks I'm going to sub. So this is what he's thinking. So he's thinking, right, he knows all that, so he thinks I'm going to sub here. Okay, I'm not going to do that then. I'm going to let him cancel the combo. I'm going to make him waste his resources. He's going to waste more chakra trying to extend it, or he might even fuck it up and miss altogether, and then I'll turn the situation around. Like, that is an example of what E would do in a close combat situation when he's being combo pressured. And obviously that is one example upon thousands, because as RJ said, there are lots of possibilities, lots of options. Like, we're very fortunate in Storm. Like, compared to a lot of games, we can do so much off of anything. Like, even despite all the nerfs we've had over the years of, cancels, like Generations was the cancel king of games, but
amazing.
yeah, you could do cancels into cancels into cancels, you can do whatever. But yeah, no, that is just one example upon thousands of possibilities. The possibilities in Storm and what you can do are endless. It's just up to you to think about it and to look for them.
And this is why I am addicted, yeah? Because I know that he don't like to sub. So I went, say swear, you don't want to sub, yeah? Calm. This is why, if you check my teams, I can keep you in the combo without using chakra. Fuck off.
Yeah, right?
Don't sub. I dare you.
And that's it. And then there's RJ's way of thinking. Like, RJ can obviously this is good examples where we're all reading each other. We all think for each other when we're fighting. So yeah, like if E and RJ are fighting right now and they're in that situation where RJ is comboing E and E's got the health advantage and he's got maybe the sub advantage as well, RJ's he's going to think to himself, right, I know what E's like. I know that E doesn't like to sub, or he finds an excuse to not sub. So I'm going to do this brazenly. I'm going to do this fucking infinite combo. I'm going to even equip an attack pill to push him to the edge of subbing and make him get what I want.
Yeah.
It's just RJ in that situation is thinking for E. He's thinking, right, E doesn't want to sub. So my goal for this next 2 seconds is to make him sub. And then E's going to have to sub. And then E's going to think to himself, right, my goal now is to fucking fuck up RJ because I'm pissed off that he made me sub. And then E's going to think of like shit to do back to RJ. Then that's how a battle just ensues. And then,
Meanwhile, I'm gated. I found a way to. This is why I like Madara. He done Sarada. Yeah, you know why I like that team? I like that team because I can combo you and gain resources. It's great because I can hit Sarada's tilt whenever I want. I can get chakra whenever I want to, while hitting you. It's great. I love that team for that one reason alone.
Essentially, but there can be multiple reasons as to why you don't sub a combo. It can be to bait them to cancel the combo. It can be, let's say you're low in chakra and your storm gauge is about to fill up. You can literally not sub, so you take damage. Your chakra's up and you sub and you have chakra. Or you can take damage to get your awakening. When they get blown back, you triple awaken. Multiple reasons, man. Multiple mind games.
Yeah. Like I said, all of this is relevant to being a top player.
Facts. It's all about the mind games, man. At the highest level, because everyone can do everything. Everyone can do switch tech. Everyone can do a jutsu buffer. Everyone can do a grab buffer. Everyone knows how to use awakening. Everyone knows how to use everyone at the highest level. It literally comes down to outplaying your game. Outplaying your opponent at a mental level. What can I do to dominate my opponent? What can I do to read him? What can I do to predict him? What can I do to break his mental? That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, man.
Knowledge checking people. Do you know to sub here? Do you know how to deal with this? Do you know how to deal with that? Do you know what I mean? Knowledge checking people as well.
Definitely, yeah. Like, these are very good and prime examples that RJ and E brought up in situations where you have to think for your other opponent. I mean, realistically, a lot of you listening right now, think to yourselves and be real with yourself, really. Like, how often do you think for your opponent? Like, how often do you try to think about what they're about to do? A lot of you probably are even looking at your character, or you're just looking as what's coming at you as and when. But you kind of got to think about the future, not, a minute into the future, but obviously because the game is very fast paced. You want to look at it to 1 second, 2 seconds into the future. Now, on paper, that doesn't sound very long, but in Naruto Storm, that's it's a fair bit of time to look into. 1 or 2 seconds is a long time. That's a whole combo right there.
What Yama just said is get your observation haki up. That's what he said to you.
Yeah, exactly. Like, observe. Think. Just use your head. I'm trying to say it in the most simple way possible because I know that people are going to be listening to what we're saying and they're going to be asking a bunch of questions and. I know that I'm going to spend some time answering questions in the comments. But, yeah.
That's the thing, though. You can't teach mind games. Like, I can teach you tech.
Yeah, it's hard.
Tutorials. I cannot teach you mind games because it's a mindset. Like, for you to even use mind games, you need to be able to believe that you can bop your opponent. Like, I'm talking, I can two-stock this man.
Yes.
Otherwise, if you don't believe that, you're not going to be able to use mind games against your opponent. You're going to be operating in fear.
A positive winning mindset is very helpful.
To start you guys off, like if you're like, oh yeah, but I don't know how to start, let me give you the good way to start, and then I got a question for my fellow wolves here after. Yeah, a good way to start, like dealing with mind games, is opening your mind and accepting everything, and stop screaming bullshit every time someone picks Yuki Turtles.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right.
That's the first place to start. Except blame yourself. Do you know how hard it is to blame yourself? Oh, I got Dunzo one hit. Damn, that's my fault. If I just played defensive, if I just watched my subs, if I just jumped up high because it doesn't track up and ninja moved to the side, then maybe I wouldn't have got hit by that one hit. Oh damn, I lost to Yuguto tilts. Maybe if I zoned a bit more, you know, maybe if I tested him to see if he was gonna just be stubborn or not. Do you know what I mean? Learn to blame yourself in positions that are cheap. Damn, I lost because he had dash card. Maybe if I didn't dash as much, or I just played around with trying to approach my opponent in different ways, then maybe I would have won. Do you know what I'm saying? Start it with just accepting everything and blaming yourself. As soon as you do that, your brain will automatically think of ways to beat it, and you'll have fun. That's it. That'll be it. Do you know what okay, let me ask the question I'll ask you guys here. What would you say is the funniest matchup to play in? I'll give an example by giving my answer first. Yeah, okay. For me, the funniest people to play are overly defensive people. I love it so much. It's so hilarious. That's my funniest, because I will have the health lead, and they will still play defensive, and I'm just there like, you're dumb. Like,
yeah, that is funny. Yeah, I didn't actually think
exactly.
about it.
And I'm just like, you're dumb. I'm just standing there. I'm just like, what are you doing? That's why I said it's so funny to me. So what would you say is your funniest matchup?
I think for me, I mean, it's also funny, but if I'm in a different mood, it's also very cringe. But for me, it's those who are learning in the game, like they're of casual, you know, probably below intermediate level, and their fundamentals are not up to par whatsoever, but they try and keep attempting jutsu buffering like all the time, just out of nowhere, like in the neutral game, like, and like kind of similar to what RJ said, like they'll try jutsu buffering at like the other end of the map when it's like, I don't know, Naruto's Rasengan, so it wouldn't even hit me if they wanted it to, and like they fuck up the jutsu buffer, so like they'll do like the 2 hits, you see the chakra flare, they switch, and like the character just disappears. That shit makes you laugh all the time, because they're just stood there with their new character not doing anything. I just punish them all the fucking time, and they just keep doing it over and over, and like you can just tell they're getting really frustrated. And that shit always just makes me laugh.
I hear the same. It's funny because I hear the same thing all the time. Damn, the game's laggy. My buffering's not working. Nah, boss. Ain't no game. Yeah.
Yeah, and it makes me laugh every time. Because like, bro, learn how to play the game before you try jutsu buffering, my dude. Honestly.
Yo, go watch that jutsu buffer guide again, bro. You're doing it wrong.
Honestly, but I just want them to learn. Like, my advice is, whenever I see that, I'm like, bro, just learn how to walk, block, and attack first. Like, learn your fundamentals. Just learn how to just play without the jutsu buffers, then learn the jutsu buffers. Because jutsu buffers do come. This is kind of what RJ said earlier. Like, they do come hand in hand with fundamentals. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. E, what is your example of a funny scenario?
My funny example is when I use, for example, my purple drip team. So I'll use Conan and the White Mouse Toby, or just some low tier characters, and then people will come to you with like Neji, Dashka, and Tamari, like thinking they're gonna do something. I was like, bro, you clearly saw like Playco or another top player use this team, and you thought you were hot. Nah, get this 2-stock, bro. You're doing it all wrong, man. Please.
Yo, oh my god. Yo, I might have to change my answer. I actually might have to change my answer to E. I might have to copy and paste E's answer to my book, because oh my god, the amount of times I've come across like a Choji Tamari Minato team, and I'm there with like PTS, PTS Shikamaru and PTS Kiba, and I just 2-stop them because they don't even use Tamari's cover. Oh my god, that's the funniest thing. People who pick Tamari and don't use her cover fire, and they don't know why they lose. I'm sure if you go somewhere, my stream VODs is actually my stream VODs, like in past streams. Like I've played against people who play tomorrow and they just never use the cover fire. I'm literally screaming like, you're not using the cover fire. How would you expect to win if you're not using the cover fire? And yeah, honestly, yeah, I might actually have to change my answer to Ease when they just pick this fucking like Billy Big Bollocks team, and fucking they just don't use any of the fucking good shit of it, and they play it at the most basic level possible.
Literally.
I think some worthy mentions here is like the overly aggressive people, and they just run into stuff all day long.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like
that is an honorable mention right there.
That's a word. You're just there, and it's just knock back, sub, dash, knock back, sub, dash, knock back, recover, charge chakra, dash, knock back. They're like, why can't I get you? It's
and
like,
then
stop dashing.
And then knock back, and then they recover, and then on the recovery frames, you catch them with a team ultimate jutsu, and that's it. They just rage quit.
It's like, wow, this game's BS.
I'm just there like, fam, just stop with faith. Like, just like, man. Just you're moving so mad.
Just calm down. Just chill out.
I feel like, Filthy Frank when he's behind the green screen and he's just there like this.
Stop.
He just needs to stop.
Yeah, literally. Honestly,
that's hilarious. Oh, that is hilarious, man. They just need to think, man. You don't get anything after 500 dashes, man. They need to just think.
Yeah, if you're doing 500 chakra dashes in a match and then none of them succeed and you keep getting punished by fireballs and counters, maybe just want to consider changing your approach.
Like, from the time I made the video about how beneficial it is just to walk around, just to use walking as a movement, I'd expect to see it more, but I still don't.
No. People ninja move over walking. I think I walk more than I ninja move, actually. But yeah.
That's what I mean. Walking is. I mean, see, I think I did it to E the other day. Do you know how much stuff, like, even in close combat, just walking away and walking back like a little bit? Do you know how much stuff you dodge?
Yeah, man, for sure.
You dodge so much.
What I noticed is with people is that they'll see the tutorial and be like, yeah, it's good, but I can't be bothered to learn the tech. And it's just like,
that
bruh.
bothers me. I've actually had people comment that in my videos before. I'm just like, you just wasted your time with the comment. Like, thanks for the extra stats, but like, why aren't you helping yourself?
A lie, honestly.
Like, why aren't you helping yourself, bro? Like, what are you doing? That's cool and everything, but that's a lot.
A lie. Oh my god.
And then they proceed to keep PMing their friends and getting bullied and wondering why they're not improving.
Facts. It's not even like fundamentals where you have to put like a bit of extra time into it. It's just switch text.
Yeah.
Just, learn the timing and you're good. Yeah. It's sad, man. It's sad.
It is, man. And I'm not gonna lie, some of you out there in the community, some of you are some real funny people, real comedians. You make us laugh.
Yeah. I had a pound for the amount of times I've jumped on ranked and laughed.
Yeah, same. Honestly, you do get some funny players in ranked.
Even hate mail. Why are you spamming switch tech? What's going on? I'm just like, bruh. There's the guy using. I'm
gonna keep this guy's name anonymous here because, I mean, he is a cool guy, but how he kind of started off was a bit rough around the edges. So I was playing Shino, and I think he was playing like Neji, like some top tier team, and I was playing the last Naruto, the last Sasuke Shino. This man then came on I was winning, yeah. He then picked Shino, right? And then when he picked Shino, he claimed. So he was, being overly defensive. This player was overly defensive, right? So I was playing Health Lead. I was like, okay, cool. Let me just play Health Lead. He's better defensive. Comes on mic. He's like, oh yeah, see, it's not nice now, is it? Listen, I was on smoke that day, innit? So I said, all right, cool. Let's do some entertainment. I put on my mic. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, see, so like Shino's character said, hand-to-hand combat, yeah, like I'm not good at, I'm just relying on Shino. I'm like, so you're telling me, I said, just want to know, innit? So you're telling me if I don't pick Shino, I'm going to lose. He said, yeah, that's all right, cool. So I win. I switch off Shino. I come up close. I proceed to beat his ass. and then what's it? I tell him, I'm like, okay, so what now then? But because like I didn't run away, I stayed close to you and I won. Like I don't I don't get it. And this is notorious for when people go like, you have to look. Don't be blind to why you're losing, innit? Like, don't just blame, oh, you picked this character, you know? Like, actually check it. If someone's bad at close combat, then force close combat. If someone's bad at neutral, then force neutral. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
You gotta learn how to do that.
Yeah, capitalize on their weaknesses. Yeah, for sure.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
And then that's when you will properly see, okay, maybe he's pretty good at close combat.
Facts. Or dominate them over their strengths. Like, pick the character that they're using, favorite character, beat them with that, then dominate their weaknesses. That's
I love doing that. Yeah, I'm always checking like people's top 3 characters list, and I'll pick one of the top 3, or one of their top 3. I love using it against them, and they're just like,
Facts.
they just get really mad, and you're just like, oh, yeah.
Facts. You know what I found really offensive recently? When people play me on ranked and then try to grab me, and I'm just like, how dare you?
I remember you saying that to me when we were playing the other day. He said to me, he was like, I find it so offensive when people grab me. I'm just like, that makes me want to grab you. So, do you know what? I was this close to picking Ino and chain grabbing him.
Like, in my head, I'm just like, how dare you?
Yeah, I remember you saying that to me the other day. That's funny. I find that so offensive.
In my head, I was thinking, off of principle, I have to grab you now. Like,
yeah, so now that you said that, I just want to piss you off. It's when you start pulling out Hashirama and Hanzo and Ino, people who can chain their grabs back to back. Like, you just start doing that on E.
That's when I just be like, you know what? I'm gonna play Meta. Kaguya, where you at, man? Let's go.
I could never imagine E picking Kaguya ever. Like,
No.
if E ever came to me and said, I picked up Kaguya, I'm asking for my friend back. I'm doing a petition.
It's like, nah,
I'm
that
putting up a
ain't
wanted
E.
poster and everything.
Yeah,
I
that
don't know
ain't
who
E.
this
Yeah,
is.
E's missing. Yeah. He's already got like that ain't E, and we know it ain't because he's got a tiny character pool of at least 6 characters, so we know that he ain't using Kaguya.
I'm done.
Only 6. That's what he's got.
Yeah.
Bruh, you guys don't rate me, man. My Mifune, Conan, White Mask, Toby, Shisui, Kirin, Sasuke.
Those are all phases.
Why?
And you listed like 5 characters right there, so.
Bruh, last Sasuke.
Yep, and that's it. Yeah, no, that's it. After that Sasuke, yeah, that's all the characters that he uses. So yeah, you should really consider looking at more characters.
Bruh.
You should really look at more characters.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if you knew this, but one of Stormforce's selling points is that it has over 100 playable characters. So you should really look at that, bro.
Should really expand your horizons. You know?
Yeah, you really should. You shouldn't. Come on, we've been telling people this all the time. You shouldn't limit yourself.
Say no more. Let me set up an endless real quick.
You shouldn't limit yourself in Storm 4, bro. Come on, expand your horizons.
You like grabs? Try out Hashirama. Try out some chain grab.
I don't know. Pick one of the Kabutos. There's like 3 of them.
Yeah, there you go.
That's forever gonna be a meme. He's small character.
100%.
I can't believe it, man.
Even if he does use more characters, I don't care. I'm still gonna say he has a small character pool.
Bruh.
I'm just gonna keep lowering it. It's gonna eventually get to like 4 characters.
Yeah. There will be a point where like he says, he only uses 3 characters. He uses one team all the time.
Imagine. I'd rate whoever does that.
Yeah. Just to spice it up, he changes who the leader is every time, just to make it interesting for him. So like he'll choose Conan, White Mask Toby, and like Kirin Sasuke, and like he'll usually lead with Kirin Sasuke. But he's like, you know what? Nah, I'm feeling a bit spicy today. I'm going to lead with Conan. And then on a Saturday night when he's feeling extra spicy, he's gonna lead with White Mask Toby, but he's gonna change Jujutsu to a fireball.
Oh god. I can't believe this.
And he's like, yeah, me and my 3 characters, we're gonna dominate the game.
These accusations.
Oh, I'm savage.
Respect my character pool. My goodness.
I mean, there ain't gonna be much respect at the rate you're going with all these lack of characters you play.
Say no more. I'm gonna invite you to PM right now. I'm gonna invite you to PM right now. You're talking a lot today. You're talking a lot today.
He said you're talking bare. You're talking bare words.
That's quite the vocabulary you got there.
Come hold this two-stock real quick. Hold on.
I'm gonna hit the circle button real good against you.
Oh man. Do you still want to keep going or?
Well, I'm looking at the time. We've hit an hour and 13 minutes, so I didn't really have much more to bring to the table. So if you guys have any more you want to get off your chest about Naruto Storm and whatever else about the game, then we can discuss it. But,
just one thing. I don't know if you guys saw that recent French tier list where they ranked people in like the EU.
Oh boy,
man laughed. But just to bring it up,
hey yo, lads, that's it. Get the funeral. I'm not top 40 anymore. That's it.
Oh yeah, no, there's players on that list that are apparently better than RJ.
I'm not top 40 anymore. Feels sad, man.
Yeah. Well, if we're gonna...
I have students that are in the top 40, but I'm not in the
There's
top
people
40.
that RJ teaches, and the French think they're better than RJ.
Like, I have students in there, like people who I've taught in there, but I'm not in there.
That's what you call. That's what you call a classic case of students surpassing the sensei, man.
Yeah, exactly, man.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, what are you about to say about it?
No, I was going to say, if we we're going to take that list seriously, then like all those players, like if you're a top player, then you so hardly believe that you can beat any player on that list, like no exceptions.
Oh yeah, I can 100% confidently say that I have beaten every player on that list multiple times.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
I've gotten wins on each of the players. Obviously, I've gotten wins on some players less than others, but they're still dubs at the end of the day. I've even beaten some in competitive settings, like the last EU tournament last year summer. Me and Giza took it to the final round each in the finals. That was exciting. That was huge. Like I remember everybody was fucking going crazy over that. Like we took it finals, and we were both one game away each from taking the dub, and obviously he took it. But yeah, man, just goes to show that you can still get the dubs in, man.
Facts. Even the two stocks, man. Come on, let's get it.
Yeah. Like I've two stocked some of the people who were higher than me on that list recently. So
recently, by the way,
yeah, like kind of recently. So yeah, I'm trying to be as civil as possible with this one, but yeah, dude, that's why I laughed when E brought it up. I was like, oh fucking Christ, this one. Yeah, I think also it was kind of like that tier list as to what sparked me to bring up this type of topic to the podcast, because how do I put this? God, English is hard. English is hard. English is hard when you're trying to say it civilly. The French or whoever the guys were putting that list together have a very unique way of.
Tell you what, Yama, I'll do it for you, man. It wasn't a tier list; it was a friends list. There we go.
Yeah, true. That's so true. That's yeah. Bro, honestly, that is the realest shit. Yeah. Actually, what you said that is a friends list. But yeah, no, like yeah. What I was gonna say is that they had a very unique way of placing their players, and I know what was it? Was it top 40? Was it 40 people together?
I think so.
Top 40. Yeah.
Yeah. So. I mean, that's impressive. Like, honestly, if someone said to me, think of 40 top EU players, I wouldn't be able to do that because I don't think there are 40 top EU players. I think there are less. And a lot of the people on that tier list, even some of the people, I mean, a lot of people on that tier list I wouldn't put as the top, but yeah, but yeah, they had, nicely put, they had a very unique way of thinking about that tier list, but I agree with E. I think it's more of like a friends list, like, oh yeah, that's my buddy. They speak to me nicely, so they're going high on the list.
Essentially, yeah. Like No shade. Like all those players that are on the list are good in their own right.
Yeah,
But if I
no
was to
shade.
make-
Yeah, no, we're being completely honest with you. Like we're being completely real with you. Like we're not lying. Like we're not hiding anything. We're putting it all out on the table. Like, we're being honest. But obviously we're not trying to be rude or toxic or anything. But
Yeah, that's my job.
If we were gonna make a top EU player list, it would probably be like a top 5, top 10 max.
yeah, I mean, I could probably fit.
I
I could probably fit a little bit more
I
than
could go
that.
top 20.
I could probably
I
go
could go
maybe
top 20.
15 to 20 personally myself, maybe.
Yeah.
But like
Mm.
the
Yeah, I
order
can go top 20.
in which they had it was intriguing. But,
So are we expecting are we is there a top list coming from Poison and E confirmed? Is that what I'm hearing?
That could happen.
Part of me wanted to do one in response to the list that the French players did, but I don't know. I don't really care. I don't really care enough right now. But
Yeah.
the thing is like the problem is with top players list is when
It's subjective.
another thing is it's very environmental based. So kind of similar to what you said, a lot of them are friends, and obviously I guess it's a thing that the French kind of are, they stick together and they kind of talk amongst themselves. I mean, probably in the majority of all the EUs I speak to RJ and E the most. So but I'm not gonna lie and say that RJ is above fucking Sawada and like is above. I'm not gonna lie and say I will say I will say who I think RJ is weaker than. I mean, I've once, I think last year sometime, I've given RJ a list of the players who I think were better than him, and when I gave him the list, he was like, "Oh, say swear, really? You think this person's better than me?" And then RJ went to go and PM and first to 5 some of these people, and he worked on proving me wrong because I was very real. I was like, I just don't think you're better than these people, and he was like, "Okay, cool." And then so we like to. I like to remain really real with who with people. If I think you're not better than someone, I will tell you that I don't think you're better than someone. And the same with me compared to a person. If I think I'm better than them, then I will outright say it. I have many times. I think I've you probably heard me say it in streams when people say, "Oh, you compared to this person," or whenever I'm talking about me and another person, I'll mention if I think I'm better than them or not.
Facts.
And
just to add on what you said,
and when I do that, I always make sure to. I don't just say it and just leave it. I always back it up with experience. So I say, "Oh yeah, I think I'm better than this person because if we're looking at the competitive record, I've beaten this person in the first to 5. I've beaten him in this first 5, and I've beaten him in this tournament. So I think that gives me the right to think I'm better, and then I get more wins in player matches. So I always say that. Like as an example, I'd say, "Oh, Playco is better than me because every tournament I've competed against him in, he's always beating me, and whenever we PM, he gets 1 or 2 more wins, or he gets some more wins than I do." So I'm happy to say that is a reason why Playco is better than me. But I could say that I'm better than Jim over there because whenever we PM, I beat him 7-2, and he challenges me to a first to 5, and I beat him 5-0 in the first to 5. So it's like, I'm better than Jim because of this. So,
facts. Like
if I were to make, but I was actually straying away from my original point. My original point is that if I were to make a top however many EU players list, I'd find it difficult because I don't hang around or I don't see enough of other players to do it, and that's I think that is a problem with those French players. Those French players, that list screams, I do not look at other players other than my friends. And the reason why is because I will say this, I will be dead ass. I actually think that RJ should have been on that list. I'm not just saying that because RJ is my friend. Honestly, even if I fucking hated RJ, I would still say that I still think he should be on that list because there are so many. He is better than a good few of those people on that list. He is better. I've watched him beat some of the people on some of that list. So.
Message. Okay, you know what? Yeah, let me keep it real. Yeah, message Unico. Unico was in the top section of that list. I'm not saying I beat Unico, by the way. I'm not saying that.
You're talking about
before
Yukino, or I mean, Yukino keeps changing his name.
Yeah, he changes his name like more than I thought.
His name is Giru7 on YouTube, Giru-7. But
yeah,
he changes his name like all the time.
Like we play, right? And we was going back and forth in sets, and he was like near the top. Little Z, same thing. Like I have a match on my channel. Like, do you know what I'm saying? And he was like, again, on the row, not the highest row, the row below. If I had to place myself, being complete honest on myself, I remember I tell you guys, I am not a top player. You all think I am, but I'm not. But I would put myself on the row below, not the top row, the row below it. That's where I put myself.
Right.
If I'm being honest, that is where I put myself.
Yeah, and I think the problem is with that list is it's so evident that the French players, or not, I keep saying the French players. That's just grouping them all. Do you guys know who actually made that list? I don't know who actually made it. I don't know.
I think it's like Riku. I think don't take my word for it, but I think it's Rikudo and those like his group. I think.
I'll just to be civil and not to call anyone out. I'll just say the list organizers. The list organizers, or whoever, whoever it was, they, or I don't know if it was a group effort, but whoever the decisions were to put that list together, they lack the environmental knowledge of the people they put on. Because
me being a prime suspect,
because they don't see. Because I feel like if you're going to put them on, you need to see more of those people. I think a lot of it was just, oh, I've seen that name before. I've beaten them a few times. Yeah, they kind of belong in like the B tier section. It's like no. You need to see more than that. You need to see how they perform versus the other people you're putting on. Like, and this is why these lists are. People will always disagree with lists, and the thing is, even if I make a list, people will laugh at and disagree because they will see sides of the players I haven't seen. So that's the problem. And then also before you two also talk about it, I got one more problem with that list, one more issue, and I brought it up in the chat, and they stayed quiet when I called them out for it.
I know exactly.
Yeah, RJ knows what I'm going to say.
It's the Django.
Yeah, so I said, where's Django? Because I personally believe he's probably the best player in Europe. Like, I don't know. Like, that's a very bold statement of me to make. I'd have to watch him play against, like, Giza and Reach and stuff. But, like, I think if Django really wanted to, he could be the best in Europe. But regardless of me thinking that, he wasn't on the list at all. I was expecting him to be somewhere in the top row. Nope, he wasn't on the bottom row. He wasn't anywhere on that list. And I was like, where the fuck's Django? So I wrote in the Twitch chat, I was like, where's Django? And they said, he's not on there because he doesn't compete anymore. I'm like, okay, cool. So why is Tarly on there? Tarly, those of you who don't know, is a female puppet player from... she also went by the name Anne-Marie in the past. She's a female puppet player from, I think, Sweden? I think she's from Sweden. I don't know.
Yeah. I think
somewhere in Europe, basically, somewhere from Europe. She's a really good puppet player. Arguably one of the best puppet players in all of Europe, in my opinion. She's super good. You'll find 100%. You'll find fights between her and Eon E's channel that he's uploaded before in the past. They put her on there. I spoke with Tarly about a month or so ago, and I was asking her for advice on. What was I asking for advice on? Was it Sasori or Kankura? I don't know. I was asking for a puppet, and while she was talking, and she gave me her response. I asked her, "Oh, like we should PM more, or why didn't I ever see you around anymore?" I said something like that, and she said, "Oh, I retired. I gave up. I don't compete anymore. I only play with friends." I was like, "Oh, okay." So they put Tarly on this list. Now, the reason why I know they lack the environmental knowledge of the Storm players is because if they actually spoke to Tarly and knew what she gets up to, like I did, they would know that she also retired. So I called them out on it. I said, well, Tarly should get taken off that list because she doesn't play anymore. And they didn't say anything. They didn't respond. They just stayed quiet. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, so Django doesn't go on the list, even though he's better than the majority of the players. He's better than me. I always say it. Like, for some reason, every time I say this to Django, he's like, no, you're better than me. But he's a modest bastard anyway. But Django is better than a lot of people. He deserved to be on that top row. He deserved to be in top 3, hell, even, right? But Tarly was on the list. I'm like, okay, so you put Tarly on there, but okay, you're basing experience that you had with her from like back in 2019 when she was playing consistently. Bro, she hasn't played consistently in like over a year. She even told me herself she quit competing. And I said that in the chat. I said, she told me she isn't competing. They just completely ignored me and left the list as it is. And I was like, bro, like, you guys just lack the environmental knowledge of the players in this European Storm 4 community. And that's my final opinions on that list.
That's why I said it was a friends list. And if we're going by that logic of competing, so I was on the list. I can't remember the last time I did a competitive set with anyone. whether that's a tournament or first to 5. So
I think
and
the
I can't
last one
remember-
I've seen you, the last competitive thing I've seen you in was we did a 2v2, you and me. Well, we weren't on the same team, but it was me and one of the French players versus you and Karma. That was the last time, and that was sometime back in 2020.
Yeah.
But other than that,
yeah.
but that wasn't live streamed or anything. That no one recorded or live streamed it. So I
Mm.
guess no one. Well, I guess this is the first anyone's ever heard of it now because I just said it here. But it wasn't recorded or streamed. Like none of us streamed it. I remember one of the weaker French players approached me and he was like, "Oh yeah, like let's challenge E and Karma to a 2v2." I was like, "Yeah, sure. Just message him and set it up, and I'll turn up." And yeah, we did the 2v2, and then. Yeah, I think that was the last competitive thing I've ever seen E. I mean, obviously because I was the one fighting him, but that was the last thing I've ever seen E in. Other than that, I've never seen a live stream or I've never seen him willingly compete.
Literally.
So-
Literally.
I must be a ghost then because I don't. Nobody knows. Like
That's
my
what I'm
actual
saying.
skill.
I think
That's
out
what
of the
I'm
three of
saying,
us,
like,
I
just,
definitely
like,
compete the most out of the three of us. I
Yeah.
first to 5 and I compete in tournaments more out of the three. So I know I'm not gonna say, oh, I shouldn't be on the list. Like, yeah, I'm happy to be on the list. I think I should be higher. But yeah, like if they're going to use competitive history as an excuse, then yeah, I'm wondering why even E's on there. But the thing is, like, if you're going to put E on there, then you should definitely put E Django on there because yeah, E's the same boat. Like E's a content creator. He's more so a content creator than he is a competitive player. I still see E as a competitive player because he's got the skills to do so. It's just the game doesn't allow him to do because with the misinputs. So that's fair. But if I were to make a list, I still put E on there because I think E's got the skills to. And same, if I were to make a top European players list, I will put Django on there regardless if he competes or not because he's still kicking a lot of people's ass. Whenever that man live streams and he's PMing like whoever of the community, he is winning the majority of the time.
Facts. Doesn't matter who it is.
Yeah, and he doesn't win just because he's lucky. Like he's actually just really fucking skilled at the game.
Yeah, he'll play like 20 matches and win 17. Like it's no
exactly.
joke.
Yeah, exactly. So like a casual player doesn't do that for for shits and giggles. Like
and he's not playing anyone. He'll play top players.
Yeah, so that was
So
my
that's
main
really
issue
jealous,
with the list.
You know.
Yes. Their reasoning. When I was calling them out on their reasoning and they gave their reasoning and I counteracted their reasoning, they didn't have much to say. So I ended up just leaving. I just didn't even watch the full thing. I was like, yep, I'm done. I'm gonna go play Overwatch now. Because I was like, this list is it's kind of not my cup of tea. Nicely put. But yeah, no, that's a very interesting topic in itself. That list.
Just like makes you think, okay, so where are you getting this data from, sir? But, okay.
Yeah, like, sorry, who is your research? Who is your analyst here? Like, how are you getting these statistics?
Facts.
You guys are crunching the wrong numbers, my friend.
Honestly.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I completely forgot about that list actually, like a little bit. Like that list was also while we were talking, like I'm not gonna lie, the list was actually a partial reason as to why I even brought up the main topic of your definition of a top player. But now that E brought it up again, I was like, oh yeah, that.
That was
I think
as soon as you said it, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot it.
Yeah, that thing. Yeah.
I think I found out about it because MK told me, actually, because I didn't know it existed before.
Yeah, I only found out about it from you guys because you guys were like, "Oh, check this out," and I was like, "Oh God."
Another list. Okay.
Yeah, here's another meme. But yeah, like, and I will clarify again, those of you who are like taking every word I say and thinking hard about what I'm saying, and will probably put a pitchfork to my face. Like, if I were to make a list, I will say honestly, you will most likely disagree with it as well. And I am not ready to make a list anytime soon because I am aware that I do not have the environmental knowledge to put people on a list right now. The people I would put on a list comfortably would be myself, RJ, E, Django, Giza. I wouldn't really put Jalak on it because he's not European anymore. Because he's more Middle East. But like Sawada, like Yukino, like Little Z, players I actually play on a consistent basis. Players who I actually know are good, you know, like Django, whatever. I don't know if I mentioned them, but those are players I could comfortably put on the list. I feel like there's more than the names I've just listed, but I'm in no position. I'm in no position right now to put Lavelle on a list or MK or I don't know, Naruto Mayauton, because I haven't played those names in a while, or Sendo TD4 Dragon, or I don't know, or Joabak. Like I'm not in a position to put them on a list because I haven't played them since like the year 2020. So it's like you know, like, and the amount of messages I get on a daily on Instagram, Twitter, and PlayStation of people asking me to PM and me trying my nicest and best to reach out to people and PM those people, it's hard. So I do not simply have the time as a solo Poison Okami to go playing everybody. So right now, I'm in no position. So those of you who are thinking, oh, Poison thinks he can make a better list, I actually don't think I can make a better list right now. Maybe my list might even be worse than theirs, which is why I'm playing it safe and not making a list. But yeah, that's my
as Professor RJ. I feel like my opinion is inevitable, to be honest. I feel like if I make a list, it's fact, and if whoever challenges me on it, they shall get banished to the Shadow Realm.
RJ's actually trying to start shit right now. he's actually trying to start shit.
This man has been playing too much Yu-Gi-Oh, man. Put the cards down.
He just put his first card in attack position. He didn't give a fuck. He just put down Karibo in attack position. He don't give a fuck.
I've got like 52 textbooks and a wall full of notes on every player. Yeah, I'm Professor. Yeah, whatever I see.
Bro, this man is Kabuto. He's got info cards on everybody. He turns up to the tuning exams like, yes, I know you.
I think what would be good to see, though, right? Obviously, what would be good to see, yeah, and I feel like that you guys could do this one is like top UK players, because I feel like
easy.
Not many people know UK players like that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I feel like that's more realistic, especially because we're repping the UK. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that'd be an easy one though, because there's not a lot of us.
Yeah, there's not a lot of us, and if you're looking at the consistency of a lot of us, that's kind of lacking.
We got quality. We got quality.
We have more quality over quantity. Yeah, so I could probably make a top UK players list, but it would be a very obvious and easy one to make. But yeah,
I don't know. I don't think it would be obvious and easy. Do you know why? Do you know why? Because this is how the list would be, right? This is how the list would be. It would put like Poison's one would be Reach first, Poison E.
Yeah, okay.
E's one would be E first. That's exactly how it would go.
That's true. Yeah.
So you say it's easy,
well,
but you've already flopped at the top three. Like,
but that actually justifies what I said earlier. Like, everybody has different views and opinions on it, and this is why. Even though people ask, oh, make a list or whatever, it will never be definitive. Like, I hope when you guys ask for a tier list or you guys ask for opinionated top players lists, it's opinionated and it's of the view of the person you're asking. If you ask me for a tier list or you ask me for a top players list and then you go ahead and ask E for a top players list or, you know, a same tier list, we're both going to provide different answers and we're going to give very different explanations to you because based off of what we think in our own experiences. So, that just justifies that's the truth. Like maybe E and I, we would maybe structure our top three differently. Like maybe we would for individual reasons. But that's just people. That's just how life is. You know, people think differently. I don't know, internet. You gotta accept it. You just don't take it so seriously, man. Like Joker said, why so serious? Fucking.
Oh man.
We are a society. I don't know.
I'm just quoting stuff now.
I'm gonna go crazy. I'm just quoting the Joker and I'm gonna go insane. We are a society. But yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah, dude, just I don't know. If you're gonna ask for something like that and we deliver, don't take it so seriously. Just take it with a pinch of salt because Like,
why do people care about tier lists so much anyway? Like character ones, top
they
player ones.
want to know who
it's a
they're.
discussion topic.
They want to know who they're
Discussion
looking up
topic,
to.
you
They
know.
want to know why they should respect a person. Why do I like Dark Mask? Oh,
Bro.
because he beat this one person once. Ah, okay, cool, thanks. Why do I like Poison Okami? Yeah, it's like, why do I like Poison Okami? Oh, because he does that on YouTube and then he beats these people. Oh, okay, cool, yeah.
Go play them. Go play them. That's what I do with any strong player. If someone says, "Oh, this EU player is good," guess what I do? Add them on PSN and be like, "Bro, I heard you're strong. Let's play." That's it.
100%, totally. But yeah, that's my piece. Yeah,
that's right.
I stick to my original statement. My opinion is definitive.
Get out of here, man.
You're awful. You're actually awful. All right. Well, I'm gonna call an end to the tier list here because it's now been an hour and 38 minutes, and I've realized that I have a lot of stock footage to put in the background of this because, I mean, obviously you guys are watching it, but obviously for you who don't know, I'm gonna be putting like just random gameplay, and I need to record an hour and 40 minutes worth of Naruto fights to go in the background of this. So that's going to be fun, and my hard drive is going to be screaming at me by the time this gets uploaded. So that's going to be interesting. I'm going to find alternative methods to make this series work. I'm sure I can. But yeah, so I'd like to end the podcast here. So my PC doesn't explode.
He said he'd like, please.
Yeah, so yeah, if you could both just get the fuck up the Discord call now, that'd be great. Anyways, but yeah, I'm going to announce that we're going to end the podcast here. But yeah, E, do you have any closing words?
Improve your mental game. Believe that you can beat anyone. You can literally perfect anyone. There's top players that two-stock other top players and perfect other top players. Like, you've seen it. Like, just get that mental state up and believe you can not only improve but beat anyone that you see at playing the game. But that's pretty much it for me. Yep, nothing is impossible. Also, you know, a plug for E. You know, check him out on YouTube. You know, youtube.com/. Oh wait, do you have a custom URL? I mean, it doesn't matter. I actually do now.
Oh, you do? Oh, okay. I mean, it doesn't matter because I'm going to put his link in the description anyway. And just search MrAirforce464 on YouTube. You also put E in the name as well. But, you know, check out E on YouTube. Check him out on Twitter. He's on Twitter. Obviously, you know, hit him up for PMs if you want. Don't bombard him because I know how it feels to get 20 million people and a half messaging you a day. So, you know, also give the man his space. Just have to slowly untick your notifications and keep it moving. Bro, I never have my notifications on PlayStation. People message me and they will get aired, and I'm never looking at that shit. If I like, yeah. But anyways, yeah, go ahead and check out E. Check out his YouTube. All of his socials will be in the description. So if you want to, if this is your first time ever seeing E and you heard him and you find yourself nodding to what he's saying, be sure to go and check him out. To go to his channel and get more of him. RJ, do you have any closing words? What I say is law, and if you oppress me, then I will come and find you. RJ's links will not be in the description. Do not follow him and completely ignore everything he said in this video. Anyways, it's been your boy Poison Okami. I was just like, nah, we ain't plugging that. Yeah, it's like, nah, RJ's on a madness. Yeah, I think every time he spoke in this video, I'm just gonna cut it out so the podcast will just be me and E. Okay, fine. So I would like to leave you all with, you know, open up your mind, have a brain for yourself. If someone says jump, don't always ask, you know, how high. Just say to yourself, wait, why am I jumping? This don't make sense. Yeah, okay, that's fair. And you will become a better person in whatever you do. That's a very good analogy. I like that. All right. And yeah, be sure to follow RJ's YouTube channel and his Twitter. And he also streams on Twitch like I do. The reason why I'm not going to be plugging in E's Twitch is because he never uses it. He streams on YouTube like a pleb. So, let me collect my donations in peace. Yeah, yes, 70% of the donations. Anyways. Wow. Okay. Sorry, bro. Your 100% donations on Twitch. My bad. Yep. But yeah, Be sure to follow RJ on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. I'll be sure to put all of RJ's links in the description. So like I said, if you found yourself listening to RJ and agreeing with what RJ said and even laughing at some of the dumbass wacky shit he says, then be sure to go ahead and follow him. He is a pro.
Wow.
He is a professional waffler. This man waffles and talks forever and talks absolute madness on his YouTube channel for a living. So all of his links will be down in the description.
To prove it.
No, not right now, because I'm trying to end the video. No, because the video is long enough as it is. I'm trying to end it. So, if you guys want to see, no. Honestly, I'm trying to end the video right now. So, if you guys want to see that, go ahead and go and check out RJ's videos. Obviously, you guys know who I am. I'm Poison Okami. You've clicked on the video. You watched me. You're probably subscribed to me. If not, you probably should. Otherwise, I will shoot you. Anyways, it's been your boy Poison Okami. As always, matane.